Howdy gang, welcome back. Here we are on another episode, and actually by a special request, we're just doing a little first-person walkthrough of the Mr. Random Uploader HD neighborhood. So we're kind of seeing where this pedestrian is off to. And I was just kind of taking an overhead look at the district itself, and I was actually kind of thinking we might maybe do a little bit more of a push with some of the high-density buildings. So I'm looking to get our population up because we're kind of, falling short of that 40,000 goal. So I thought we could, do two birds, one stone. So yeah, we'll kind of see where this pedestrian ends up, but we'll kind of, explore the city. Oh, it looks like they're going to take a tram. Oh, how exciting. Yeah, we'll see where the tram ends up, maybe. Who knows? But yeah, it's kind of fun to see the city from this angle. And my goodness, guys, holy smokes! Some of you know, I just got back from Las Vegas. Holy moly, Las Vegas! What a fun place! Can't even believe that. So long story short, it was my friend's 30th birthday party, and they've been planning it for like a while now. So that's why I've been talking about this little secret thing. And this whole time, I've been telling them I can't go, and I've been secretly planning on going. So it was really cool just to kind of surprise them down there. So I stalked them on Instagram and stuff, and Facebook and everything, and found them and just ran up to them. It was pretty cool. And yeah, I took some photos and made a little video thing. So hopefully I can get all that organized and make a little YouTube video out of it. So if I do get that posted, I'll send you guys a link. But definitely a lot of fun. So I hope you guys have been there and we can chat Vegas and whatnot. Oh, I guess we lose our little view when we enter the streetcar. Okay, well either way, let's sneak a peek at what's going on with this district here. Yeah, currently, it's a fair amount of people that live here, 7,500 or so. So we can kind of see how the district actually looks, right? So this whole quadrant right here. But my goal, originally I just kind of put these little 3 buildings in just to kind of be on their own. But I'm thinking, just especially with the way the rest of the pie kind of looks, what we should do is extend high density kind of from over here where Charles McClung's neighborhood is, and just kind of stretch that the whole way along, and then we can meet back over here. So we have a 6-lane avenue, so we might as well take advantage of the fact that this can hold a lot of people, a lot of traffic. We got buses going through. I'm still going to keep this park area a little bit low, but I just imagine we won't have too much trouble getting these buildings to go up to high density. Let's just do that and kind of see what kind of an impact we can make on the population. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit negative in the beginning here, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, and then the reason, again, why I kind of side-scroll like that is, oh goodness, it's a separate mod I have installed, and that's for, cinematic camera stuff, so I can hold the shift button, and that stops that from happening. I just always forget to do that. So, now I'm remembering. I'm just going to get rid of these high-density buildings, because it's a little bit easier for me to do this at this pace. And I'm going to have to get some, looks like some commercial in here as well, which is no problem. And, same story. I'm just going to get rid of the buildings that are currently there, even though some of them already are high density. It's just a little bit easier for me to do this in terms of, speed. Otherwise, I would zoom in and just, get the proper ones here. Okay. Let's make some changes. So, just to encourage, I guess, more people to live here, I'm going to drop in some offices like this. Or actually, better yet. Let's do commercial, and then office, and then high density residential like that, and then we'll continue that residential trend like this. Very nice. And then I'm looking to do another thing of commercial like that, and then we can just make the rest residential. So yeah, the population was around 7,400 in this district, so let's kind of see what we can get it up to. Maybe we can even crack 10,000. So yeah, unfortunately, like I said, we're going to go in the wrong way in the beginning here, but I'm kind of forecasting the long term here, So we'll see how this turns out. Okay. Awesome. I mean, because realistically, this area, it's already got a lot of services, it's got a lot of parks, so it shouldn't be too hard to get people to move in. That's kind of what I was saying earlier. Okay, so we'll check back on that. And I just ever so slightly moved the rails back over, and I dropped a power line down the center just to kind of make it look a little bit more, I want to say realistic, but I did totally forget to do these. A couple of you guys pointed that out. There we go. And I totally forgot to put them back in again. Okay, so I've kind of tinkered around with a few of the mods. So I got the draw distance thing to work, and holy smokes, then the game looks much clearer now. You're able to see everything. It does add a little bit of texture issues to some of these buildings here, but it's pretty cool, right? So slowly but surely, I'm getting more and more of these mods to kind of cooperate with one another, which is always good news. Okay, another thing I got working too, which I was debating whether or not to do just before I started this episode, but it's just a little bit late in the evening. I actually didn't want to do too much building off camera. But I've got one-way roads, or one-way train tracks, I should say, kind of up and running. And when we put the arrows on, you can kind of see. Just swap the old... Oh, can I swap the direction? Oh, how do you do that? I don't... What? How do you... Oh, maybe you have to go... Maybe that's the only way. Okay, let's test that. That's two-way. Yeah, I guess that's the only way to do it. Oh, that's really, really sneaky. Okay, so yeah, again, maybe I'll do this off camera. But I was thinking of redoing part of this interchange to kind of get that original idea I had in mind, where traffic kind of breaks away and just kind of doesn't really flow in front of anyone else. But it might be a little ambitious now that I see how the one-way markers have to be, but we'll see how it goes. So expect that maybe to pop up one day. Oh, and I also removed, oh goodness, where was it? Yeah, the one little bridge that was here, just so this area wasn't getting too crowded. And then, I mean, realistically, we could probably remove this bridge here as well. Because there was, I mean, it's either, no, you know what, we should probably get rid of this one. This area, I do kind of agree with him, you guys. I mean, it was a little bit of a split decision. But yeah, some of you were saying that it is a little bit busy, so I'm kind of leaning towards that as well. Okay, so let's change that. We don't need the trams going there anymore. And there, that kind of fixes the little things. I like that. Alright, so population, that's good. It's actually moving back up here, even though not a whole heck of a lot of people have moved back in, but still for the better. Okay, well, let's shift gears, and let's move actually over here for a little bit, because I want to start bumping some of the office zones here. That way we're kind of inclined to get some more residents in. And we already have some tram lines over here, too, so we're already going to get a little bit of a benefit from the from that. Okay, now I'm thinking we might maybe need a few little side roads to kind of sneak through here. Okay, so why don't we just do... Well, hopefully somewhere we can get the road to cooperate. Oh, there we go. I hope that fixes our, Now, where are you going with this, I wonder? Oh, wow, you can go the whole way. How interesting. That is really interesting. I'll be cautious about how... Maybe this will just be a dead end, to be honest. Or like a little dead end district. I think I pushed my luck if I'm trying to get over here. But I would like to see a little bit of traffic, and just again, to make this area look a little bit cooler, because it's starting to get pretty... I'm enjoying the way this is kind of, you know, coming together. Pretty cool, if I do say so myself. Let's do that. Let's maybe sneak this through. Since that kind of works as well, right? And then why don't we do like a garbage collection or recycling or something over here? And that way we still kind of have that happening in and around. And then let's do just maybe something like this, just something like that. And then same idea, just maybe a few buildings over here. Hopefully nothing too crazy. Let's go like that. Because why not, right? Too bad you can't get like high and low density offices. Oh wait, what am I saying? I have a mod for... Oh my goodness. Sometimes the things that come out of my mouth. Okay, so what I have is... I'm kind of see what I mean here. So I'll just make a small little district. I'll just go from here, just where those offices were, just to kind of show you guys. Oh, Robin Hills. That's an interesting name. And so right here, what I'm going to do is put an X through. So I don't want buildings to get to the tallest one, so I'll kind of stop that right there. And that one's inside the mod list. I'll post a link for that again. I should be putting that in every video. I just kind of forget here and there. And I think that one's called Control Building Level Up or something to that effect. And am I pushing my luck? I think I am, but that's kind of neat at the same time. Okay, well, let's leave this little area alone. If anything, we should probably hide it with some trees. And to get us, of course, we've lost, or forgot to connect power, because that's just the general theme I seem to do when I make these little new areas. Okay, there we go. That is that fixed. But yeah, so let's just kind of put some offices in here. And that should hopefully stir a little bit of demand for our residents to come in. Now, how pivotal are these power lines at this point? They're kind of helpful. We'll probably back them up a little bit. But that's kind of dangerous right there, you know? Now so let's just go like this. Just so we have that break, and then we'll just do that. Because in the long run, I don't really like power lines running through these districts like this. But I mean, you have to have power lines somewhere because it doesn't look realistic, which is kind of why I'm putting them down where the train tracks are going to be. And I was thinking of maybe doing, just something through here. Maybe just a few power lines poking through. Just, again, make it feel like there's kind of a little bit of realism happening. And that's also the same reason why we kind of took away one of the bridges, just to kind of make things not look too out of place. Okay. Getting sidetracked, but story of my life sometimes. Okay, now again, these little areas here, just one little road sneaking through just to get those few extra zones in. That'll probably go help in the long run. So we'll just go like this. Perfect. And then the other idea too is like if we were giving traffic more options, you don't have to bottleneck any one particular intersection. Okay, so we can do that as well. And maybe connect... Oh, that's kind of neat. Which is kind of fun. I like that. And then at the same time, this gives the pedestrians a little bit more access too, because these are pretty big blocks otherwise. Everything looks kind of like, tiny from overhead, right? But we have to think of this sometimes from a pedestrian perspective. Now, to deal with some of these traffic lights, because we're going to get a little bit overboard, I'm just going to change this to a one-way that goes inward. And then when we look back over here, no traffic light. So it just kind of saves the hassle that we create right there. Okay, so let's do offices surrounded by a little bit of commercial. And then we can start doing a little bit more residential zoning in that new area that we started working on last episode. And it's all slowly coming together in that sense. And then, again, once we unlock that 40,000, I think, there's no real reason. We can obviously start right now. But I think then we'll kind of do the harbor area. So most likely next episode we'll start with that. And if nothing else, maybe we'll just kind of work some of the rails in. And we can get just the start of a rail yard. And we'll put down at least one of the... goodness, what are they called? Harbor areas. And going back to what I was saying with the mods, I'm having a little bit of conflict. So my terraforming, I'm just going to pause the game for a second. I'm still not able to get that to work without the game crashing. So I'm kind of, I'm a little bit frustrated with that, but I was hoping to get that fixed with when I downloaded the isolated features. Okay, so I feel like I just severed the main connection. And visually, it does look like I just did. So yeah, these guys have to talk still. So actually, is there room to get power lines through here, I wonder? Well, there is. So why do we do that? That's kind of working with what I was saying. And, I probably... Oh, we could do? No, we should probably go up and over. I'll raise this up. Otherwise, I was just going to kind of cheat, but... That doesn't look realistic. Alright, now bring that back down. And this is straight here, so why don't we just go... Oh, I see. We are not going to be able to do what I had hoped we were going to do there. Well, at least we got part of the way, so let's maybe straighten this out, make that look cleaner. I take that back. What have you done? Excellent. Okay, I don't think we can cut through there. Nope. Sorry, this is a little bit, I don't want to say sidetracked, but important in the long run. Okay, so that's nice and straight. Let's just go, say, to here. And then connect those. Cool. And then that can just reconnect right there. A little bit ugly, but I think if we get rid of that, we're fine. That's a bit better. A little bit cleaner. Okay, now let's complete what we were originally going to do, which is a connection point over here. Now it's like, why won't that work, I wonder? What is the secret to that giving us trouble? Yeah, I think it's just a little bit too tight there with the bridges. Okay, so in that sense, maybe now we can cross over here. And it's like a little electrical substation. And then we can always put other types of assets there, but make that look a bit more real. That's kind of fun with the power lines going through. It's again very very chaotic over here. I think it'll look less jumbled once all the buildings come up, though. Okay, so speaking of which, let's put it on 3 speed. Encourage a lot of people to come in. And we'll just put the sun right back to the very beginning of the day. And just right here, let's just put in some lower commercial. And I'm super digging this little walkway thingy, whatever you want to call this over here now. It has the, you know, the trams going through it. We got the trains overhead. We got a little service back road over here. Yeah, that's very fun. Okay, I imagine we're okay for pipes. We are indeed. Alright. Now, I think that should be enough to kind of stimulate our growth over here. And, yeah, let's go ahead and expand on this neighborhood. Well, we could actually probably push over to this side, too. So let's maybe make this a mix between pedestrian, or not pedestrian, that's what I'm looking for here, residential and offices. Okay, so let's sneak some of these roads through here. Just go like this. I'm thinking we could probably put a roundabout in here. I want to keep something away from this, though. Just we have like a little side road almost. So why don't we go like that? And then, yep, there we go. There we go. And then just add a few points, just so that people actually use the trams a little bit more. Why don't we connect some pedestrian things like this, little walkways? But I was just actually thinking, instead of that, because now there's no way to cross the street, why don't we just use, say, a couple of these to go through? Just say like that. And, you know, it's really tempting, so why don't we put one over here too, just in case, maybe we can get some bus routing. Or no, we wouldn't, because this is a tram only, so that's actually very good. I like this. But again, this way we get a little bit more pedestrians going through. Okay. So let's continue. Why don't we go like that, just to break the shape up a little bit. That's kind of cool. And we can do that. Does that work? Yeah, that's not too bad. And it's a fine line between getting a little bit too busy with some of these areas, so I'm going to try and stick to maybe some of these smaller looking roads, so we don't get too lost in everything. And it's a shame we can't make that even, but I'll still take it. And again, it might look a little bit nuts, but we just haven't put any buildings in here, so it just we're just focusing on the asphalt a little bit too much. But I do hear a lot that I just kind of go a little bit crazy with roads. So in general, I am trying to take a little bit more of a minimalistic approach, but it's tough to break old habits, you know? Okay, so let's take advantage of the nice looking waterfront here. And so we can make a mix of some condos and some houses. Now, this is obviously going to be a very big, loud headache, so these are going to have to move. And unfortunately, it's a little bit expensive when we do this. Well, I mean, again, it's probably temporary, but I just want to sneak these over here, maybe even up on this part of the coast. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, sorry, it'll take me 2 seconds. You know what? Let's just destroy them and just put them back over there. It's probably a lot faster. Having to go back and forth, a little bit less dizzying as well. Maybe we'll lose a little bit of money, but I think we're okay. We got over 800,000, so that's not too shabby. Okay, so we had about 10 some odd, but I'll just put in a number that I feel is pretty good, given the space we got. And it gives us a little bit of room to grow. I think that's more than enough. And we're probably going to need just a way to power these guys. Perfect. And back over to piping. And there we go. Love this sound. Holy smokes. And we'll just connect that like that. Okay, so we'll just turn the speed on just to make sure everything's okay with that. And you know what, since we're just kind of addressing this, why don't we put one more of these in? And I'll have to look into those custom assets I have, because I had some water treatment plants that don't actually pollute. Like the muckiness kind of goes into the grounds instead of into the water. But I don't know where those went. They're not showing up on my list, so I'll have to explore again, you know, into that a little bit later, but no worries. And you know, since we're over here, how's the update doing? Actually pretty decent change. So as suspected, now that we're putting a little bit more offices in, we're getting some demand, even though it doesn't really show it, because it gets taken away rather quickly. But no, the population, it's almost what it was before, close to that 7,400, and there's still like a lot of room too. So definitely a good thing. Hey, cool. Hey, the 40,000. Yes. Oh, and as a bonus, we do get the this is the one that has the train. So I guess it is a good thing we waited for the 40,000 inadvertently. And maybe what we could do is a little nuclear power plant kind of facility just kind of off on its own, and that can just be a really good long-term power producer. Because we're starting to go down a little bit, even though we've got this whole area. So we could do like kind of like a 3-mile island kind of theme, you know, maybe just have like a power plant off on its own over here with one little access road or something. Or maybe like up the road here. Well, that's kind of fun. Just a little bit outside of the city. Just make a small little highway interchange or something. Okay, cool. Well, that's really good news. I'm happy now. Not that I wasn't happy before, but now I'm happier. Okay. You know what? Really quickly, just because I sometimes have a tendency to neglect these. Let's, I don't know why I suddenly thought of this. Let's take a look at some of the just overhead stuff, you know? Just like the services and everything, just in general. Production and everything. So power is okay. Water and sewage, it's okay for the moment, you know, especially water. Garbage, it's fairly decent. We probably should get another incinerator. In terms of coverage, though, we're not doing too bad. This area, it's starting to get neglected. So possibly we might want to have like a little, maybe like a gas station, recycling center or something over here. It's kind of a little service stop type thing. So well, we'll keep an eye on that. And what else we got here? Where am I at? Oh yes, of course. Education. Not bad. These people here, they're in the red because they're new citizens. And then education, as you guys know, just kind of... oh my goodness. This comment. So yes, thank you very much, guys. Oh my goodness. You can see our eligibility. We don't have the capacity to meet everybody. I had a few comments about this, so I'm really glad we're looking at this. I knew it. My spidey senses were going off, which is why I'm doing this. Okay, so these ones hold 300. And those ones hold a lot less. Okay, so we'll just do a few of these here and there. Space already occupied. Can I... What? It's giving me issues. Okay, that's a little bit close to the other one. Same with that. Wait, there we go. Now, this unfortunately is going to be on the border of the park, so maybe that's actually not the best spot for it, because I was going for that really tall look, if you guys will remember there. Why don't I put that just over here? And we'll put these back in. And I do realize this is a little bit of a commercial area. We are right across the street from some residents, so it's not that worse, that bad of a spot. So that helps with that area. And then, I guess just in general, maybe we can sneak one or two up here. We're a little bit close though. It's a shame these schools don't hold a little bit more. Oberschool. I feel like Ober is like the next level, so this is probably a high school, right? Yeah, I don't think that's what we're after. Too bad my German is so non-existent, essentially. Well, I mean, there's no real harm in getting the schools kind of doubled up. I mean, what we could even do is put a few more of these churches in. I know they don't have the most capacity, but... And then one of these right here, maybe. That's kind of fun. There we go. And I'd like to get rid of the zoning. Just in that little spot right there. I don't know if we can get a pedestrian path. Yeah, we can, sure. That's cool. Maybe some trees or something down the road if I can remember, but I won't worry right now. We're still in planning mode. I don't want to get too sidetracked. So we are definitely making a dent. Definitely making a dent. I don't know why I didn't notice that earlier. Okay, so I guess since we have so many high schools, since we have so many taller buildings up here, I'm gonna just put a few more of these in. And you know, the shame is not one unit bigger, because that would just be such a good spot for this. And it's giving me trouble. Well, why don't I do the same thing we just did on the other side, which is just adding a little bit of a pedestrian pathway just to kind of hide that bit. That still works for me. And then now, as the students age, obviously they're going to move to the next level, so we're not necessarily going to stay at this number forever. And so as the city grows too, we'll kind of proportionally add more schools. So I don't want to go overboard, because our population is still relatively young, because we're still getting a lot of, like fast influx right now. So why don't we just put maybe one more school down, then we'll kind of cool our jets on that for the moment. Let's go back to this style. Because otherwise, the buildings have become a little bit too... You see them too frequently. And that does also kind of take away from the realism aspect. Okay, well I think that's alright. I'm happy with that. And it does look like we didn't zone over here. Okay, is this going to stay a little bit lower? I did say I wanted to keep a little bit of a smaller tier through here. Just so the park in this whole area kind of looks like you're looking down. Yeah, that'll be nice. And then these tall buildings all around. That'll be quite nice, actually. Alright, now, where were we? Let me get rid of this. Okay, so that's probably on school. Let's look at high school. So again, same kind of speech. I'm going to leave this as it is, simply because, as people age, they're going to move on. The only thing we don't have is a university yet, so possibly after the harbor, we're going to have to make a university campus. But I think we might want to do that a little bit on the outskirts and let the city kind of reach that, which kind of helps a little bit too with that realism, because it gives the city a little bit of chance for some organic growth just as we just get bigger naturally. Okay, so schooling is really not too bad. Citizens are pretty happy in general. Commercial people will be a lot happier if we lower their taxes, but we need money to grow the city, so I think everything's okay. Healthcare, death care, I think it's fairly good. Cemeteries, I mean, obviously they fill up and then, they go to the crematorium, so it's kind of a little bit of a loop right there, so I think we're okay. Levels, I mean, the building's definitely getting leveled up. Don't have to worry too much about that. We're providing a lot of public transportation, and that kind of stuff definitely contributes. Wind, not necessarily applicable to what we're really worried about right now. Traffic, I mean, don't get scared by the red areas. That just shows high volume. So when you want to just get a little bit more of an in-depth for that kind of stuff, just zoom in. If you want, you can even take off this view. There is a mod to get rid of the fog and the pollution from the buildings. So I know this is a little bit hard to see. So I really wouldn't argue that this is necessarily the worst traffic. It just seems like there's a lot of volume going through here. But it doesn't look like anyone's waiting any, like too long. It just happens to be a busy area, that's all. A lot of freight moves through here. But I wouldn't say, like, the lineup goes to the highway, people can't get off the highway or anything like that, right? And then, in terms of spacing, there's a lot of intersections people can kind of choose to drive around if traffic does kind of get backed up. So why don't we take another look at another hot zone. Let's sneak a peek at this one here. And then, again, you can kind of see, like, upon closer inspection, it just really is high volume. It's not necessarily backing up traffic. This I definitely say might be traffic, which again is ironic that it's our our good friend Madame Traffic Jam. But this has always been a little bit of an issue for us, and I think we're going to get rid of that problem when we open this up into a bigger interchange, if and when we kind of move down, which I think will happen eventually. Let's sneak a peek over here. See, now this I'd say possibly would be traffic, but even then, I don't think so. I think we're okay just in terms of traffic overall in the city. Very happy with that. And there's a few requests for maybe some policies towards free public transit. I think we can kind of do that once our budget goes a little bit higher. I don't want to say I'm reliant on the money, but we do get a lot of. See, we're getting 7,000, credits, right? So it does represent a fair amount of our budget right now. So I don't necessarily want to remove that money, and we'll unfortunately be a little bit broke. Okay, but again, once the city grows and we're like hyper wealthy, like I don't mind like at all packing on all the services and policies for everybody. The pollution definitely in zones where we'd expect it. No surprises there. Noise pollution, we got to keep an eye on it, which is kind of why I put barriers of like offices and like parks and that kind of stuff. So I mean, the residents, they're hopefully not complaining too much. I don't necessarily see too many icons popping up these days, so I think we're okay in terms of pollution in general. Fire safety, we know that's all right. Crime, it's okay too. Transport, it's like taking names and kicking butt. I love it. Ridership numbers, they don't necessarily reflect, they're not really a good indication, right? But like we have a population of 42,000, like arguably if this was a real city, this would be a few 100,000 for the size that it is, right? But you can kind of see like 5,800 people, it's almost 6,000, so it's a fair amount of the population relatively, right? Using public transport, which is great. Population in general, it's a fairly young population too. Not too many seniors. You can see only 16%. And then obviously as people age, those are the death waves, right? Because you get like these adults are going to kind of like 38%. That's a fair amount of our population, right? So as they age, that'll be one big death wave. And that's usually when you zone one big area at a time when you're unpaused. All those people kind of moving in at once, especially when you got like a big demand that just goes down right away. You'll notice a death wave, like 50, 60 years down the road type thing. Especially if you're on 3-speed. Outside connections doesn't necessarily, matter right now to us. We do some exporting and that kind of stuff. Tourism as well, we're going to work on that. We're still kind of in the infant stages, so not too worried about that. Land value, we know it's increasing because we're definitely doing a good job with services and that, so. And then, we've got some natural resources that we can take advantage of, but we're not going to do that just yet. Districts we've seen. Leisure we need to work on because unfortunately some areas here. And this could be achieved with some leisure districts or just some parks and that kind of stuff. Hot water, we know it's great. Road maintenance, we could definitely improve on our coverage. I'm a little bit slack on putting these in because it's kind of like I keep forgetting to. Snow dumps are doing a good job. I'd say maybe one more up here though. Okay, well let's sneak a few more buildings in, maybe a few more neighborhoods since we're getting a good view of the city now, or since we've had a good view of the city. Yeah, so let's just zone all of this and let's call it a day. Okay, so just so this area doesn't get overwhelmed, I'm going to put in some lower density commercial like that. Keep that going, just so it works well with that intersection. Not intersection, sorry, where that pedestrian pathway crosses underneath, but it creates an intersection. That's what I wanted to say. And then same with this. Why don't we just go... Maybe this can curve. Yeah, it's not too bad. And again, it still kind of fits with the general shape. It could be a little bit busy with the roads. I know some of you do, like, half the roads I put in, which is, like, totally fine to each their own. Should have seen me in the old days. I used to be a lot worse, so... But yeah, it's styles, they change, which is kind of fun, right? Like, I look back at some of the old videos, especially the first series, and it's pretty wild how... I feel like I've gotten a lot better at the game, not to, like, toot my own horn or anything, but... Just, it's through the help of you guys, right? You're all... Like, we're all in this together. I feel like we're all building this city as just one big team, which is kind of why I enjoy making these videos so much. It's kind of exciting to see what ideas you guys have and the directions you guys take. Because a lot of the time, it's something, like, I would never consider, or it's stuff that I'd be like, oh, of course, that's... It's just, a fresh set of eyes, right? Like, I love that feeling. Alright, because the trains are still in a state of flux, we'll kind of leave that as it is. Oh, and goodness, I still have to move these trains over. Oh my, and time's starting to get away from us too, so maybe that'll be something I can do off camera. possibly with that other junction, but I'm also just working a trade show this weekend, so on top of my regular work, I've got that, and I just got back from vacation, so quite the busy bee as usual. But for those of you that have been with the channel for a while, you kind of know that's my motif. So let's put a little bit more residential in here. Kind of feeling some tall towers here. And then what we could do for this neighborhood, just so that it's not like overpowering in terms of the height, is what we can do. Oh, that doesn't look very nice. There we go. I have to snap to the intersections. What we can do is create a little mini district here. Let's just go to the next road. And I'll pick a name. I won't do that right now. I'll pick a name and I'll start doing some more naming on districts. Maybe again off camera. But I want to let, you know, like a little bit, like a few more neighborhoods kind of build up, right? And I'll try and, I still have, again, like maybe like 25, 30 names on my list, which is just, it's a list that's growing too, which is the problem, right? It's kind of hard to take it down. But yeah, Hemlock Hills, that's cool. So one of these days this will change type thing. Anyway, so we're going to keep the offices low. And then that way we're going to have tall condos, but since most of this is, you know, offices there, it'll still look kind of cool. So I'll let that be like that. I am tempted to drop some services in here though, just before we end the episode, since we were doing such a good job at looking at all of those before. So let's put that in this big open spot here, and that actually lines up rather nicely. And that'll look really cool. That kind of fits in with my idea where I don't want anything too tall, but maybe say buildings around the height of the hospital, but not necessarily as tall as the ones across the river. Oh, great. Alright, so I'm feeling good about this. Maybe sneak in one of these buildings too. Goodness gracious me, so much stuff. How do you choose, you know? It's like, it's so tough. Oh, I love this building so much, the Flatiron. Oh, can this fit? You sneaky devil, I love that. Let's put that there. Oh, and of course it has to be right where those residents are. Now, it would be perfect if that matched the curve of the road, really. Oh boy, okay. Now we're hunting for a good spot for this now. That's not what I was planning, but now I'm on a mission. Okay, that's almost it. So why don't we get rid of this? Why don't we move that so it's like this? Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, actually, I quite like that. And then, alright, this might be asking for it, but is this possible? No, sir, it is not. Unless, no, there's gotta be a way, right? Can we do it? I don't know. I do not know. Alright, so now let's just curve that. Now, let's get rid of the zoning, of course, right here, because that won't look realistic at all if these pop in. And then, if we put a pedestrian pathway like this, will that make the front of the building look okay? It does. And I could always put the prop anarchy. Will that work? I don't think so, but no, unfortunately not. Because what I could do is just drop in some more. Oh no, hey now, that's not bad. This is one of those assets where like only the butt part of it is like the actual asset. Everything else is kind of like the game doesn't realize that it's you know, using the snap points, which is why we're able to do that. Well, hey now, that's a little bit better. So I like that where it is. And this will essentially be one of the tallest buildings in this spot. So well, that works. Job well done. And then it is a little bit of a oh goodness, that's not what I wanted to do, silly. I wanted to fill that in with the residential. And don't have to worry with that because those snap points are gone. Not snap points, I mean the zone tiles. Okay, so fire, we for sure need that in this area. And why don't we do one of these European style? How many engines are in this? Oh, 25, that's plenty. And police, I will do one over here. I have not forgotten about our tolls. Still gonna do that. And we should be thinking of putting a prison in soon. We might be able to do that a little bit in the outskirts. And we can possibly, maybe do that near the power plants. I don't know if those two can kind of share the same little area. Then we can maybe put some like garbage collection, that kind of stuff too. And then the power plants, I mean, they wouldn't be like right next to each other, but it'll be, you know, imagine like a big open area like this. One end is the power plant, the other end is like the jail. But it can just be like, you know, off on its own, just on the outskirts type thing. Okay, so I did say I want some garbage collection over here, just because the area possibly could use it. We do just have that one building there. It's not necessarily enough. So I'm thinking, yeah, something that, you know, that should be over on this side. Ideally, though, like I said, I want to do, you know, what I said before about making a little side thing. I don't want time to get too far away from us. So let's call it an episode right here. I think this is very productive, as always. Definitely a lot of fun. Great to be back. Really happy the way this turned out. Oh, and the last thing, let's just double check and see how far we came along with this, because I noticed this is now filled in. Whoa, 8,600. Oh, that's a very big jump. Nice. And we're at 44,000 people. That's great. Okay. All right, guys. We'll check back next episode, and we'll start work on our harbor, which will be awesome to do. I'm really excited for that. And we'll just hopefully let everything else just kind of fill in the background. And depends on how time goes. Like I said, I am working a trade show. I might do some off-camera building, maybe not. So if I do, I'll let you guys know. All right, well, I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys, and thanks for watching.